Okay, so you were recruited to pretend that he was giving you a prophecy, and he gave you a prophecy, and you did well. Like, hey, that's a word from God, and you were paid. But then he liked you.
Behind the scenes, some pastors have swapped genuine ministry for carefully arranged performances. And thanks to cameras catching everything, we now have several moments where the so-called miracles look more rehearsed than divine.
So they pay me.
They pay you how much?
5,000.
To do what?
Now you can prophesy anything you say.
Okay, to prophesy anything.
In this video, we're breaking down 10 times black pastors were caught using actors for miracles, and by the time you get to number 1, you might find yourself rethinking a lot of what you've seen in church. Number 10. Nana Poku. We're starting off with someone whose second name is deception, Nana Poku. He is a Ghanaian-born pastor, often described as a man of God, whose ministry, Kingdom Prayer Ministry International, operates out of South Africa. Over the years, he has attracted serious accusations and has been exposed for staging miracles, apparently paying people to fake sicknesses and then healing them during church services in order to impress and manipulate followers.
The man with is small and no testicles.
An instance is a video circulating online showing Poku allegedly healing a man who was said to have balls of stone.
Jesus! Yes, Father, I thank you.
In the name of Jesus.
Give me the oil.
Apparently, his balls of stone eventually turned into real balls, and he even instructed his workers to privately go confirm the fake miracle.
So you were recruited to pretend that he was giving you a prophecy, and he gave you a prophecy, and you did well. Like, hey, that's a word from God, and you were paid. But then he liked you.
That's it.
Meanwhile, a young man has come out to publicly expose the prophet, saying he was hired to pose as a sick person who needed healing only for the prophet to refuse him his payment. Beyond that, there have been persistent claims from several other people, shared in videos and by individuals online, that Poku pays people to come to services pretending to be ill or afflicted. According to those allegations, he or his associates would pre-recruit fake patients, pay them money, instruct them on how to present their ailment, and then orchestrate showy healings in front of the congregation. One news source even claims he collects 5,000 rand every week to arrange fake miracles for other pastors. So, isn't it pretty clear that it's all an organized scheme? But that's not even half as bad as one of his infamous controversies, which involves a widely circulated video in which he appears to heal a female congregant, not by prayer or laying of hands, but by kissing her passionately during a deliverance session. The footage shows him locking lips with the woman for about 25 seconds, after which church members begin to shout and celebrate. Because of these controversies, the kissing healing, allegations of paid actors or followers pretending to be sick, and claims of regular compensation for miracle actors, many now regard Prophet Nana Poku as a classic example of a so-called false prophet. Now, thanks to the video leaks and whistleblowers, the world can see him for who he truly is. Number 9. Johnson Suleiman. Apostle Johnson Suleiman, the leader of Omega Fire Ministries International, has been at the center of serious accusations that question whether his so-called miracles and miracle money are genuine or part of a well-orchestrated show. The most persistent controversy involves claims that he tells congregants their bank accounts will receive money by cash-dropping angels and then has members flash phone screens to show the so-called alerts.
Another one here again. It's your center. Another one here again. It's your center.
Papa, $989.70. How much?
But in 2021, a YouTuber, Israel Balogan, used clips from 2 of Suleiman's crusades, one in Atlanta, USA, and another in Auchi, Edo State, to argue these miracle alerts were staged. The young man insisted that there was no divine intervention, but it was all a premeditated scheme to manipulate believers.
Crediting people's accounts via angels. That make God a liar.
However, supporters of Suleiman insist that miracle money is biblical and real. Another pastor, Jeremiah Omoto Fufeyin, who is another case on his own but we'll get to that later, publicly defended the concept. He even referenced the idea that Jesus once told disciples to catch a fish that contained money to pay Jesus's tax, as he used scripture to justify such miracles. But obviously, Suleiman wasn't going to let the whole thing slide. When Balogun went public, Suleiman responded aggressively. His lawyers claimed Balogun had gone beyond mere criticism into defamation and cyber-stalking. That immediately prompted the police to invite and detain Balogun on those charges. The incident sparked outrage as well. Some defended Suleiman's actions as protecting religious leaders, while others saw it as a heavy-handed move to silence a whistleblower. Even beyond the money miracle saga, there have been other dirty scandals tied to this man. A woman once accused Suleiman of sexual impropriety and made some serious claims about a relationship with him. In that case, the woman later publicly recanted her allegations, and that made people wonder if the original claim was genuine and the man of God was just trying to silence her. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Number 8. Lesego Daniel. Pastor Lesego Daniel, the South African founder of Rabboni Center Ministries in Pretoria, is no stranger to controversy. In fact, when people talk about pastors who use shocking methods to prove spiritual power, his name always comes up. One of the most infamous moments was the day he told his congregation to drink petrol, insisting he had miraculously turned it into pineapple juice. Before anyone drank it, another pastor even proved it was real petrol by using it to start a small fire.
I want to prove to you if it is fuel, it will burn quickly.
So I'm turning it into a pineapple juice.
After that dramatic demonstration, Daniel instructed members to drink the fuel, and shockingly, they did, describing it as sweet.
The word is upon it. How is it?
There's a lot of fumes, but I don't have any side effect.
You feel fine?
Yes.
You feel fine?
Yes.
Pineapple juice. How? You want to drink pineapple juice? Okay. Wait. Is it nice? How does it taste like?
It's sweet.
Is it sweet? Is it nice? How is it?
But watching the footage, it's obvious nothing about that drink resembled pineapple juice. Obviously, no one in their right mind would go along with this, unprovoked. They were hired and paid specifically to do this at a very great risk. After this video circulated, authorities and watchdogs publicly raised serious concerns, and in fact, the Film and Publications Board in South Africa ordered him to remove the clip within 24 hours. They also declared it unclassified and warned that it featured harmful, imitative acts that could endanger especially young and impressionable viewers. Beyond the petrol drinking incident, there have also been reports of other disturbing and potentially harmful practices associated with his ministry. For example, congregants being told to ingest live snakes, grass, flowers, or similar substances as part of so-called spiritual rituals. In response to these practices, some former church members and religious watchdog groups have spoken out, describing the rituals as dangerous, spiritually questionable, and, at times, exploitative. What's even more surprising is that, despite all these incidents, his ministry still has a strong and loyal following. Number 7. Miracle Ajija.
They pay you how much?
5,000.
To do what?
Now you can prophesy anything you say.
Okay, to prophesy anything.
On the scale of pastors who get in trouble for faking miracles, Prophet Melody Ajija is way up there. This man is founder of Lightway Ministries, also known as Last Bus Stop, in Wari, Delta State. and he was once arrested after a widely circulated video clearly showed him confessing to staging miracles. Here, he admitted to hiring individuals, paying them 5,000 naira each, to pretend to be sick or afflicted so that he could heal them publicly and make the church appear powerful.
The woman that pretended to be a witch in your church, where did you get her from?
One of the accomplices also admitted during police questioning that he was hired from Edo State to give fake confirmations of prophecies during services, effectively acting as a miracle agent for Ajija. Obviously, every healing that ever took place within the four walls of the church was not a spontaneous act of faith, but paid performances designed to deceive worshippers. But beyond staging healings, the allegations went even deeper. Some claimed that offerings from church members were used to buy personal property for Ajija, rather than for genuine ministry or humanitarian work. When confronted publicly, Ajija denied the allegations. He even claimed the confession video was made under duress by police and petitioned top police authorities, demanding an apology and retraction. He argued he was being blackmailed over a separate dispute. He said he had donated 35 million naira for the construction of a chapel for the police division, a project which actually never materialized. Still, a court case he filed against the police, seeking about 2 billion naira in damages, was ultimately thrown out. The court ruled that filming suspects while obtaining confessional statements under the relevant law was permissible. That decision stands, meaning the confession and the claims remain on public record. Because of the leaked video, the arrest, the accomplice's statements, and the court's judgment, many now treat Melody Ajija as an open example of a fake miracle pastor. What was supposed to be spiritual healing, many now say, was nothing but a staged performance. They were nothing but lies paid for with money. Number 6. David Owor. David Owor is a self-styled prophet whose ministry, repentance and holiness ministry, built a reputation on dramatic miracles, healings of cripples, blind, people on crutches, and bold claims even of curing serious diseases such as HIV/AIDS. But over the years, some ex-members and critics have come forward to say Owor's miracles were not divine at all. They are carefully choreographed shows aimed at deceiving believers and profiting from their faith. One of the most popular whistleblower accounts came from a former insider, Kinoti Joseph. He says that while he served as part of Owor's media and social media machinery, where he managed the Twitter army, video editing, blogs, and online campaigns, he saw firsthand how the miracles and prophecies were manufactured for effect. According to Kinoti, the church used video editing teams to doctor footage, suppressed evidence of people whose healings didn't hold up, and actively controlled narratives around miracles. Kinoti claimed they would edit out any cripple who did not sustain walking after a crusade, and that many supposedly healed patients went back to their walking aids once away from the church crusade. As if that wasn't enough, another former member, Yona Okoth, described the church's miracles as computer-generated and stage-managed, not supernatural. Okoth said that after joining the church, he discovered that Owor's preaching against monetary demands was a sham. In practice, members were organized into groups and pressured to give money. Beyond the question of fake healings, Owor has faced serious allegations of financial exploitation and manipulation. One former church pastor claimed that Owor bribed members of parliament with huge sums to defend him after being sued for allegedly defrauding a wealthy woman of properties worth billions of shillings. The woman was said to have abandoned her legal career to follow Owor, then transferred multiple houses and bank accounts to him as part of the church commitment. Many ex-members say that leaving the church was dangerous because the ministry used threats, intimidation, and the police, some of whom were reportedly church members, to silence critics. One former follower alleged that after speaking out, they received harassment, had their social media accounts attacked, and in some cases were threatened or approached physically. In fact, critics also point to a pattern. After Owar's big crusades, some hospitals and morgues reportedly saw more deaths among attendees who abandoned medical treatment in favor of faith healing. Of course, that's especially dangerous for those with chronic conditions or diseases like HIV/AIDS. One activist, Boniface Mwangi, publicly accused Owar of brainwashing vulnerable sick people and leading to unnecessary deaths, saying many left hospitals and believed they were healed only to die later. Of course, defenders of Owar's ministry deny these charges. The church repeatedly rejects malicious, unverified rumors insisting miracles are real and spiritual, not disinformation meant to harm them. But the testimonies of insiders and critics, plus the lack of sustained medical proof for many of Owar's dramatic claims, leave a cloud of suspicion. Number 5. Tony Anthony. A while ago, Pastor Tony Anthony was involved in a really big mess. An actor named Bose Olasunkanmi, a 44-year-old woman, was supposedly healed by Anthony in 2019. The only problem is, this same woman appeared in multiple footage to stage miraculous healings. She recounted that after sustaining injuries from an accident, she was approached by a woman named Fatila Musa. Fatila told her she could make money by pretending to be disabled, then attend miracle church services where pastors would heal her. According to Bose, the first church she was taken to was Radiant Army Deliverance Ministry in Ogba, Lagos, where she met Tony Anthony, who gladly paid her for fake miracles. She described a rehearsal at home where she learned exactly how to make her arm hang limp. At the church, during a service, he placed a towel on her arm, prayed, then supposedly healed her by having her gradually drop her hand, pretending it was miraculous. She said she was paid 9,000 naira for that first performance. However, after the first act, Tony Anthony publicly claimed he had helped her with 1 million naira, but she never received that amount. She alleged that she was also part of a network. Every time she performed and was healed, she got small payments. After several church visits, even outside Lagos at different churches and pastors, the story gained traction after she was reportedly arrested by police in Lagos when several videos of her healings had already circulated. The police charged that she was a repeated actor used by multiple pastors for deceptive healings. As a matter of fact, this scandal uncovered a miracle syndicate that recruits vulnerable people who are often broken, desperate, or poor, then builds dramatic healings and deliverance sessions around them. Afterwards, congregants are asked for offerings, seed sowing, or donations, meaning the loot comes from genuine worshipers, deceived into believing in divine power.
If I am lying, they should carry us down to court.
However, Bose has since voiced regret. She said poverty drove her into the scheme. After years of acting, moving from church to church and collecting small sums, she realized it was all a lie that enriched pastors at the expense of believers' faith. Number 4. Jeremiah Fufeyin. Jeremiah Fufeyin is the highly controversial man who leads Christ Mercyland Deliverance Ministries, based in Ephraim, Delta State. Over time, he has become a lightning rod for controversy, not for a single scandal, but a litany of claims that his miracles were fueled not by divine power, but by commerce and deception. To add fuel to the fire, a social media influencer, Very Dark Man, publicly challenged Fufeyin. He claimed the miracle products that Fufeyin sells failed tests and accused the prophet of deception. In response, Fufeyin reportedly filed a 1 billion naira defamation lawsuit against him. By then, the move was seen by many critics as an attempt to silence dissent rather than defend truth. Earlier, in 2022, in another twist, a pastor claimed he had helped Fufeyin stage fake miracles. This man paid actors to make up false healings, dramatic but false displays. The confession went public, but soon after, the church's spokesperson denied it, calling it a blackmail attempt and saying the alleged confession was part of a plot to defame Fufeyin. According to the spokesperson, the man who claimed involvement could not produce his co-conspirator, and police investigations thereon were inconclusive. In 2024, a full-scale scandal erupted when Nigeria's regulatory body, NAFDAC, publicly exposed and condemned Fufeyin's so-called miracle products. This included waters, soaps, perfumes, and oils, saying none was registered or approved, labeling them fake, and warning the public against buying them. Apparently, investigators from NAFDAC had secretly bought one of the so-called miracle waters from the church and discovered that the water was unregistered. The head of the ministry denied the purchase represented them, claiming only the label belonged to the church. Because of all this, unapproved miracle products, regulatory warnings, investigations, a public critic, and a pastor's accusation, many now view Fufeyin to be nothing but a showman. Yet Fufeyin and his supporters counter by calling the allegations false, saying all the videos are doctored, accusing enemies of blackmail, and framing the criticism as attacks on genuine spiritual work. Unfortunately for him, in the battle between belief and evidence, many remain unconvinced. Number 3. Prophet Obinim. Bishop Obinim, founder of the International God's Way Church in Ghana, has for years been among the most polarizing pastors in the country. Many people label him a fake prophet because his dramatic miracles and deliverances appeared to be far from divine, orchestrated, and built on deception. One of the strongest public exposés came through a media personality named Kennedy Agyapong, who, in 2020, uncovered a miracle syndicate supplying agents to pastors like Obinim.
One part, man is a fake goal, and I would do so. I will show everything because also with evidence. And I'm giving you evidence why we are fake, Pastor.
According to Agyapong, a female agent was in charge of mobilizing people, even children as young as 12, coached them on how to pretend to be disabled or afflicted, then supplied them to churches to fake miracles and healings for a fee. Countless critics have called him a charlatan, saying that the spectacle is designed not to help people, but to shock, draw crowds, and enrich himself under the guise of divine power. As if that were not enough, Obinim has faced some serious criminal and fraud allegations. In August 2016, he was arrested by police over a reported fraud case running into millions. A complainant accused him of failing to deliver on a promised ritual and demanded a refund of the money. These were allegations that the police confirmed and began investigating. Around the same time, he was also accused of publicly flogging 2 teenage members of his church, where one allegedly pregnant after accusing them of fornication and abortion. The flogging was aired on the church's TV and social media, prompting a formal complaint to the domestic violence unit by government officials. In public, Obinim has fiercely denied allegations that his miracles are fake. In a statement in 2025, he swore he has never staged a single bogus healing just to impress people. Detractors say what Obinim runs is less a church and more a business built on fear, spectacle, and manipulation, where he preys on the poor, the desperate, those seeking miracles. Number 2. Chris Oyakhilome. Chris Oyakhilome, founder of Christ Embassy, has long been loved, honored, and respected and celebrated by supporters of dramatic miracles and healings. But over the years, some former members and insiders have come forward claiming those miracles were nothing more than staged performances. One of the most serious accusations came from an anonymous church member in South Africa who said that before a big event, the Night of Bliss at Johannesburg Stadium, he was offered thousands of rand to pretend to be physically disabled. He said he was supposed to sit in a wheelchair, act lame, and at the event get healed by Pastor Chris on live TV. He recounted that once the pastor prayed, he was to stand up and walk, making it look like a miracle. He claimed there were even rehearsals. People were coached to fake illness, children wheeled around, even though healthy, and carefully crafted background stories about each fake patient to make the healing appear real. Another potential actor said he refused the offer because he felt using God's name to deceive vulnerable believers was immoral. These allegations, of course, started a major scandal. Reports across the media accused Chris of running a kind of miracle syndicate, hiring people to fake sickness, orchestrating miracles for public shows, and exploiting faith for attention and money. Beyond fake miracle claims, critics point to other controversies. Oyakhilome has often been criticized for preaching a prosperity gospel. He's been caught several times telling followers that giving money, seed offerings, or donations will result in divine financial rewards, health, and success. Also, the lavish lifestyle attributed to him and his ministry has drawn scrutiny. Some say that while ordinary members give sacrificially, often under emotional pressure, the church's leadership benefits benefits immensely. Supporters and loyal members naturally reject these accusations. They insist the healings are real, miracles divine, and that critics are either jealous or spreading lies. But the testimonies of supposed insiders and ex-members, alongside the strange patterns in the miracle events described, cast serious doubt in the eyes of many watchers. The story of Chris Oyakhilome becomes not just about faith or church leadership, but about power. The power to influence, to promise hope, to shape belief, and, according to critics, to manipulate desperation for profit. Number 1. Alf Lukau. The one and only Alf Lukau is one of the most frequently disgraced preachers involved in fake miracles. Besides his viral dramatic fake resurrection involving a paid actor who eventually passed on, multiple former insiders and investigative reports say that many of the dramatic healings said to happen in his services were staged. According to one expose, the church paid people to pretend they were crippled or terminally ill so that during services they could be healed. One woman in particular, identified only as Grace, stated that she was told she would be paid roughly 3,500 South African rand to act as a cripple and then stand up and be healed on camera. Another former participant, Samantha Revisai, said she was asked to fake being HIV positive for 3 years, then appear cured in public after a prayer session. She denied ever having been ill. According to those who admitted involvement, such as a man named as a recruiter, some recruits were coached in how to act, pretending to have disabilities or serious diseases, then coming forward after prayer as if miraculously healed.
What made you leave the church?
Because of stuff that he did, that fraudulent stuff that this man do, which I don't want to mention these things here because obviously there's also consequences for what I say.
More than one former church member said they were told to film testimonials designed to look like genuine miracles for use on the church's own media channels. This obviously amounts to exploitation, using the hopes and desperation of poor or vulnerable people, often immigrants or those in financial need, to manufacture spectacular healing events meant to draw donations and new believers.
It's playing with the mind of our people, our innocent people, just to grab you to make money. It's not about church, it's about how to make money.
Despite these allegations, both the church and Lukau's representatives have insisted that the miracles are real. They deny paying actors or staging illnesses and say all healings are genuine spiritual workings. Now, all these accusations, paid actors, fake illnesses, pretended cures, place Lukau's ministry among the most controversial faith-healing churches in South Africa. Whether one believes in spiritual healing or not, the evidence from former members, leaks, and media investigations paints a picture of a ministry that may have prioritized spectacle and money over genuine compassion or truth. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next breakdown. There's plenty more happening behind the scenes in places people never expect. And before you go, jump into the comments and tell me which moment surprised you the most. I read everything, and your thoughts could just be what we cover next. Check out our next video on 12 times miracles were clearly faked in church.